Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Captain Shaq here, and welcome back to Space Engineers. Welcome to another mod library episode. Been a while since we've done one of these where we do a collection of mods that I highly recommend. Now, today we're doing a live recording of this over on the Twitch/Captain Shaq channel over there. So if you hear me talking to chat a little bit while we're doing this, that's what's going on. I've also got some of the mod authors for the mods we're going to talk about in the chat as well, helping me remember all the bits of this. Now, today we're going to talk about mods that are all about that quality of life. So we're not talking about mods that are gonna give you a major advantage in combat or gonna change the survival aspects of the gameplay. We're gonna be talking about the ones that take the little annoyances out of Space Engineers. Hopefully that's what it does for you. Now, there are some in here that are now must-haves. Now, these are the kind of mods that I'm gonna throw into a map that I'm making or a world that I'm making before I even start any other mods, because those are the kinds that they are. They're not gonna change everything massively. So, quick run through of the mods, and there will be links in the description below if you wanna jump on and just get subscribed and get into it. Quality of Life first, we'll open it, is actually a collection of mods by a lot of the more well-known mod authors over on the workshop, right? So you've got stuff in here from from Inra is in here, and he's got a new camera overlay. It's also got ammo counters in here, and you've got the HUD compass modded here. So this is a big collection. Now, the way he's got this set up is that these will auto-update as the mod authors put updates out for these mods individually. So that was my first concern, so don't worry about that. They will get auto-updated as the mod authors put out updates. So we're gonna get into all of the functions of this as we load up the map. We've got sneaky tools, so quieter tools. We're gonna have computer voice lines, another one of the quality of life mods by Inra. We've got armored thrusters, another one, custom thrusters. So this is one of the most subscribed a version of this was one of the most subscribed mods for Space Engineers ever. I don't know if it's still on that list, but this is an updated version that has, I'll show you guys. It's got the ion thrusters and the hydrogen thrusters, all of that in there. Camera panning mod, and then the toggle crosshairs. Let's go ahead and load up the map though, and see what all these mods do and why I think they should be default in your mod load order, and hopefully someday just added to Space Engineers as features. Let's get into it. All right, everybody. Welcome to the testing grounds, that original space station where we've been jumping into and testing Space Engineer mods for ages with the red ship and the blue ship out there. I have brought in a small moon, Titan, sitting off in the distance so we can test out some of the other mods that require planetary gravity. So the first mod that we're going to be testing is, well, actually, we gotta do a little GM hackery. We gotta make it nighttime. A mod that I was asking for a long time, and I love that somebody managed to do it, is the sleep mod. Now, I've used this in the Sunday Survival, so some of you guys already know what I'm about to say, but right there is a cryopod. Now, it's nighttime. Now, a game like, and I always use this as a comparison, Minecraft, when it was dark and players couldn't see what the heck they were doing, you could all jump into beds on the server, and as soon as everybody was in one, it would cycle to the next morning, meaning you had slept through the night. That's exactly what this mod does. Jump into a cryopod or a bed, wonder why you can't sleep because you're in the middle of space? I actually didn't know this was a feature. I just assumed you could, and the more you know. All right, so it only works if apparently you're on a planet. I thought it would work just about anywhere, but I guess that makes sense. How would you know if it's day or night? So hang on. I didn't know if it was gonna use the asteroid as an example. I guess it needs that planet there to know. So let's go ahead and build ourselves a platform real quick in creative. Bloop, 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 bloop. Grab a battery for some cheap power and our cryopod. So you got your cryopod in your base. Now I'm curious how that works in a multiplayer server where you got somebody in space and somebody on the ground. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump in here. It says one player not in a cryopod. Now it's realized that I am in a cryopod. We're sleeping. Give it a few seconds. The sun rises, and suddenly you're not crashing into mountainsides while you're flying around looking for iron. It's Tex. Right, so there you go. That's the sleep mod, easy peasy. While we're on the planet's surface, look at the top of the screen, you'll see we have a compass. If you've ever had the problem of yelling at your friends when spiders are coming out of the ground that there are spiders northeast of the base because there has never been a compass, well, now you've got a way of calling out directions for enemy contacts, for where you see that crashed ship you want to salvage. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Compass mod. done. Also, does turn off if you do tab. Now, talking about UI mods real quick, really simple ones. Another one that we use in the Sunday Survival series is the toggleable crosshairs. Now, in the options menu, you can turn your crosshair off. Now, hopefully you guys can see that on YouTube. The tiny little crosshair right there. Whoop. If you wanted to turn this off, you'd have to go into options, but with this mod, holding shift hitting F2 allows you to just turn it off. It also, with your UI off, allows you to turn it back on. So you can have this on if you want to, be able to access the control panels a little bit easier. This is really for somebody like me who sometimes has a problem with targeting small objects when my crosshair is off and I'm trying to find where the center of my screen is and I've got to move around it until I finally get it to light up. You can just turn it on. Quite nice. All right, back to the space station so we can go and look at some of the more interesting mods. Hooray! People need us. Shit. Well, we made it back. Oops. Mistakes were made. Respawn. All right, now going through the quality of life mods from the quality of life pack. Let's go ahead and turn off that crosshair because it's gonna drive me freaking crazy. We're back. The first one that we're gonna talk about is the smarter suit because we just respawned. Now that's not one that I can really show off very well. There are certain elements of it that I can show, which would be, let's walk inside the ship here. One of the things it supposedly fixes is respawning. It checks to make sure that you're safe when you respawn in your ship or your base so you don't immediately kill yourself. If you've ever had one of those issues where your ship's moving and the respawn mechanic happens because whatever reason you ran out of oxygen, you died, you're respawning back aboard your ship, and suddenly you find yourself in a bulkhead and then dead. This mod, I guess, fixes that. That's a hard thing to test because I haven't had that issue in a while. We used to have it on the Skyforge all the time. So, maybe not. Let's run into the ship though. Oh, I've really pushed this off and mess around with, I'm stuck in a corner. Hoop. Let's go inside though. The other thing that it does is it automates some of the functions of the suit. Watch the helmet. We're in a oxygen environment, be it on a planet or in a ship, and it actually opens the hood up, which is pretty nice. So that's the smarter suit. That mod was actually made by Sysks. Hopefully I said that right. A few of these mods are actually made by Sysks. Between this one and I believe let's see, about the smarter suits a little bit. There was more systems for that though, because that one was a little bit more complex. It had jetpack enabled when in and out of gravity. All right. So with the auto helmet, it's pretty nice. There is a slight delay. There was a slight delay with the helmet opening and closing when you go into let's see here. We have it open right now. I'm gonna open this up. We're gonna take a little bit of damage, and then about a couple seconds later it'll close. So you will take a bit of damage when you walk in and out of buildings. It's not that bad. We're at 93 health right now, going in and out. So keep that in mind. You're gonna probably have to hit up a medical bay just to kind of top up. But if you're like me and you constantly forget about your helmet, it's really convenient. So, all right, moving on to the next crazy mod in this list. The build colors mod. Let's do that one. So build colors, this has some text commands that you can use. But basically, this allows you to save, and I'm gonna use this to great extent soon, because it's really cool. If you open up P, you have your normal colors here. Now the problem that I have is that when I have certain color sets, say I want to make a military build and I want to have those army greens, and I want to have some of those tans. Well, I have to go and I have to look up what the hex code is for them, or sit here and try to fiddle to get the color just right, and that's really kind of a pain in the ass. And you can't really save these. So what the color build mod does, by Sisk as well, is it allows you to save a set just through some quick text commands, and then type in that text command again and load it back up. So let's see if we can remember what the command was that we were testing earlier for the paint it pink. If I remember right, and it should go between maps, because it saves it on your PC. So the command is /BC load, and then I think I called it pink. There it is. And then we have our 3 painted pink colors. I normally use this color for Bob, for build and repair system, which is not one that we're gonna spotlight today, because that one changes gameplay substantially. It is an ease of life mod, but it changes it so much that I'm not gonna put it in this particular pack. So there you go. You can have as many of these as you want. All you have to do is type in, let me close that, type in /BC, then you type in the name of whatever you want it to be. So we'll do the command save, the name, we'll call it Army 1 for maybe Army Greens, and save. Army 1 has been saved, which is now my pink colors. I guess I could have changed them to something. Let's change them to like, I'll make this one a black, let's do like a, kind of like a off yellow, kind of brown color. There we go. We'll save over that last one that we just made. And then we can load back up another color. It's a pretty straightforward mod, but oh man, I'm hoping Keen gets this idea, takes this idea and kind of runs with it and makes it an element on the UI we can just click on, like some tabs for different colors. That would be really nice. So we'll reload our pink colors, double check if that worked. There it is. And I've already reloaded multiple times since making the original save for the pink color, and it's worked just fine. So, and then we'll do load, and we'll do Army, what do I call that? Army 1, I think. And boom, there it is. There's your colors. So you can have all kinds of colorscapes there. I'm probably gonna do one that's like a military grays and camos and browns, and then maybe have like a, maybe more like a Mass Effect, like light blues and whites. There's a ton of different color settings that you can do with that. Particularly if you have like certain builds that people have made that you really love how they did their paint job, now you can go in and find out what those colors were and save them easily so that you can use them for your next builds. Pretty nice. All right, moving on. So that one is Build Colors by Sisk. So, projections to assembler. Pretty straightforward mod, as you can guess what it does. It allows you to have is there a projection block automatically on this test area? I don't think there is. No, there's not. I'll have to put one down. Easy enough. Let's run over here to this corner. This is actually Lucas's. This is one of Lucas's mods. Projection block. Now, I am going to show another mod off while I do this, because I was complaining about this while we were testing it today, and it's trying to figure out how to place the projection block the right direction. I've been playing this game since 2013, and I still can't properly place a projection block. I know that part is supposed to be up, or where the image comes from, but like where the forward one is, it always throws me off. So, you're not sure. There's so many features in this, I don't even think that's listed. All right, I probably edited all that out, but I just had this conversation with chat, a little bit of a realization, and I don't know if it's from this mod or not, but it looks like if you hold down, so control is the button that you normally use to ship through all of the overlays for the build info mod. So basically, how this mod works is you can hit control and the plus key next to your backspace key, and it will give you stuff like information on air tightness, or which direction is considered up or forward on the block that you're using. This is great if you're placing down like a camera block, or obviously the one that I always have trouble with, placing down a projection block. So you can see, what we just realized while recording this was if you hold Shift and plus, you can turn transparency off on blocks that you're placing. Especially if you're like me right now in admin mode. You know, I don't need transparency for everything, or maybe I need to see exactly what I'm placing. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let me go ahead and turn the transparency back on though, and we'll go through some of the options on this while I'm placing it. So let's go ahead and we'll place the block down as we said. Control and plus to go through the different overlays for it. There's your mounting points, so you know where you're mounting onto the block. Some blocks don't have mounting points on every side. You've also got the air tightness, which if I switch to a block that has air tightness, or maybe one that doesn't have air tightness in every direction, like say, that one doesn't have air tightness on any direction. So what's a good one? Probably the refinery would be a good one to use as an example. Yeah, because it doesn't have air tightness. So you can see exactly what's considered airtight on the refinery block. And on vanilla blocks, it's fairly easy to see. Anything that's got a large, square, flat surface, probably airtight. And anyone that doesn't, is gonna let air out. But with mods, that's not always so cut and dry. Sometimes they're a little wonky. So this mod makes that a lot easier to see what other mods have air tightness on them. But again, It's just control and the plus key, and you can go through the air tightness one, the mounting. You can see whichever side has like a mounting point on it. It's really useful. So there's that one. Easy enough. That's the build info. At least one feature of the build info, and we'll go into that one a little bit more. It's got some other features. Now, on to the hologram to assembler. So projector to assembler. Pretty straightforward. If we load up a block in here, so let me go over to a control panel real quick. If we load up a block, projector, one of our blueprints, we're gonna have to find something of mine that isn't modded, which is harder than you would think. Probably gonna be one of the Blinky builds, or more hilariously, a really bad build of mine, like this old acclimator. Sure, why not? And it's in the floor. Let's move that a little bit farther away. And I'm gonna use a mod that I have installed that we're gonna talk about in a bit. Oh, that's nice. I haven't used this with a hologram yet. There we go. This is the Build Vision mod, by the way. It's another one in the Easy Pack. We want to go forward offset. That's what we want, just to get it out there. This was one of the early acclimator builds that I did when we got planets for the first time. And I was making ships that could land on a planet and see what we could come up with that could carry a vehicle. So that's what that old build is right there. Don't judge too harshly. It's really old. Let's go ahead and rotate you a bit. Oh, it's fine. We'll leave it there. So, Build Vision allows me to access any block with a click of the mouse. We'll get into that a bit more in a minute, because right now I want to use the To Assembler. Now, I wonder, can I use Build Vision for this? No, it doesn't look like it. So we're going to go back into this control panel. We've got a thing we want to make out there, right? We want to make that old drop ship. Now, normally we just have to hope that we have all the parts together, but because we have projector, this mod installed, we can see every component that we need, every section that needs to be built. Catwalks in there, antennas, door. There's 6 doors on that build. Jeez, I'm kind of hand with doors. How many lights? 40 lights in there? Well, if we're missing parts, we can click a quick button and go send to assembler, and it will send the list of everything we need to one of our assemblers. And they can work with their the cooperative mode if you want. So you have multiple assemblers working on a project. So that's pretty cool. One quick button. I'm not going to push it because there are actually supplies in there, supplies that I want to try for another mod, but you could order those up. They would instantly go into your manufacturing system, and if you have your projector set up properly for construction, you can have them all ready to go and ready to build. If you're using a Bob system in this, tying that into that mod, meaning you can just kind of auto build stuff. It's pretty legit. That's a real nice mod too if you're doing some kind of like dry dock factory setup where you want to have a 3D printing of starfighters maybe. You can just, instantly queue up exactly what you need. The other nice feature, lastly, is if you want to know exactly what your ship is made out of in blocks totally, like as a component, what the cost is to make your ship design, this model lets you do that. Just tell the assembler not to actually build anything, order it up, and you can see your ship takes, 2,000 construction components, 150 motors, like it'll tell you that entire list. So if you want to have like a box of supplies to make a full fighter, that's how you get that quick list real fast and easy. All right, we got a lot of mods to go through, so I'm trying to go through them pretty quickly. Next up on the list for the quality of life mod. And Inra, you did a great job collecting these mods together and getting permission from the mod author. I really do appreciate, and hopefully the community appreciates that extra level of work. And to all the mod authors who put these mods together and did all the real heavy lifting, fantastic. GPS distance handler. Now this one, you may find this really useful, you may find this one just okay. I'm gonna make a GPS coordinate here. Shack number 1. All right, this is gonna be base 1. And I'm gonna go into admin mode. I'm gonna make a couple more of these. So we'll make one over on Titan real fast. Titan. Drop my character on here. Make a GPS coordinate from here. We'll call this an iron mine. Say there's iron right underneath me. And then I'm back in space. Say I found some more iron off in space in this direction. Next to, what the heck is that? Pirate mining ship. Sure, why not? We'll make another GPS here. We'll call this one iron as well. Not remembering to, mark down exactly where I'm at. So what this mod does is it changes the description, and we'll go back to base before we do it. It changes the description of every one of your GPS coordinates and auto-calculates the distance from you right then and there.
Energy low.
Thank you, Joanne. Let me drop down here. So, we go into the GPS, and we click on these irons. They have the same name. How am I going to know which one of these is which? If this was vanilla, I'd have to turn them on and look over at them and try to figure out, okay, which one of you does what? But with this mod, as part of the quality of life pack, it tells you your current distance from the GPS. And we can see exactly which one of these points, 56 meters away, is near us. So it's just a quick glance at, all right, which iron was it on the planet I'm on, or at the asteroid I'm on, or which coordinate am I looking for? Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. It does have another feature that allows you to search. If you tag the different GPSs with a certain shortened command, you can do a quick text command and do a search for the next to closest iron mine or whatever. The full description will give you the walkthrough on how to do that. It's not a system that I've really used. I'm just happy to have this right here. The distances, pretty nice. Warning though, if you use your descriptions for anything, it's gonna wipe them as soon as you load this mod up, so keep that in mind. All right, so that is GPS Distance Helper. And let's see, who made that one? That was Little Lucas's mods, okay. Lucas is a friggin' champion. You can thank Lucas for most of the NPC, AI mods that are out there right now. We've used them quite a bit on our Sunday series. So, easy control button access is gonna be the next one. This is another one of Lucas's mods, and this is the one that I didn't realize I wanted until I had it. It's pretty amazing. If you've ever been in the situation where you're hanging out on your base or in your ship, and suddenly you come under attack, or you need to run away really fast for whatever reason, and you jump into your, we'll do an example here. Let's grab a passenger seat. You've got a ship that uses a passenger seat for its main seat, and then you use your remote control block to actually control the ship itself. Now, that mad scramble to get control of your turret or your remote control normally leads you to go typing in the turret or typing in remote control. In this case, we'll use turret as our example. Once you click it, you then gotta scroll down and in all of these buttons, find that control button. All the while, your base is exploding, your ship is on fire, someone on TeamSpeak is screaming bloody murder, and you're just trying to run away. Well now, all this mod does is it moves the control button to the top, saving you that extra 10 seconds and maybe your ship's life. And now we have access to the ship, the weapon system, or the remote control block to control your ship. So literally, it's such a simple thing. Boom, boom, you have control. So that's what I'm talking about, quality of life. How good is that? I didn't know I wanted this until I had it. All right, let me drop out of there. So easy control panel button access by Lucas. It's part of the the quality of life pack. Moving on to the ammo management controls, which I'm almost 90% sure it's Lucas as well. This is one of those that he made in response to, I think, me and Tex bitching about not having enough ammo and not remembering which ammo type goes to which weapon. Because when you start having 20 or 30 freaking weapon mods installed on your server, figuring out what 10mm cannon shell goes to what it becomes a problem. This is pretty straightforward. Jumping into a cockpit, looking up our, let's say, Gatling cannons, right? Because I think I emptied. These Gatling cannons should be just about empty. Wait a minute. Doing this for science. Hold. Please hold. And your Gatlings will be empty momentarily. There we go. We're out of ammo. Who knew? All this mod does, not to sell it short, is gives you this menu control system right here. It allows you to choose the kind of ammo. I know some of the bigger cannon mods actually have different types of ammo, like armor piercing or explosive, but even with the vanilla weapons, it gives you this management control. You click the ammo you want. You can, if you're docked with, if you're in a fighter docked with your carrier, click order ammo if you're completely out, and it'll put it into the assembler to make it. If you've got the resources, it'll make it right away. If you've already got your carrier, your base stocked full of ammunition and explosive pew-pew, click get ammo and you'll get the ammo you need. So we're totally tapped right now. Let's go dock up. Works with modded weapons as well. Just make sure that whatever weapon you're using doesn't self-generate ammo before you start messing around with this. I noticed a lot of like the Star Wars packs, the Rebel one particularly, Spacebars, has generating ammo, as I think does the Imperial one, the Armco ones. Anyways, let's dock up. So we're on board, we're docked up, we just got into our combat engagement, totally tapped out on ammunition, managed to survive, came back to base, and let's go GATS, Gatling Cannon. Can I do both of these at once? I can. Get ammo. Get ammo, undock, and we are ready to get back into the fight. Completely rearmed. Yeah, if you've got bobs in there, totally repaired. And you're ready to get back into the engagement. So pretty nice, pretty straightforward, and it makes it so you don't have to sit there and wondering what ammunition you need, because it'll give you the list of ammunition that the weapon can use. All right. Did that have any other features? I think that was pretty much it. Order ammo, get ammo, and switch ammo, which switching ammo is really nice. Swap out what you want to use. Can you put get ammo on the hotbar? You know what? I don't know. Actually, that's a good question. Let's try. Gatling cannon down on the hotbar. Cycle ammo is an option, but get ammo is not. Yeah, so no, you'd have to go into the control panel still. So you can't speed it up any more than just this, it looks like. Which is too bad. That'd actually be really, I like that idea. One of our people on Twitch asked about it, one of the chat. So there's a couple of things in this pack that we're gonna be talking about that you can't put on a bar or on, say, a, do I have one over here? Yeah, you can't put on like this. What was the one chat that we were testing earlier that I really wanted to? Oh, it was the vent and finding leaks. That's right. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. So that was our auto management controls. Now, I did die, so it's gonna be a little harder for me to test this one, but it's a simple mod that changes the holographic admin tools, creative tools on. Nope. I'm gonna push every button until I get the right one. There we go. Item, we need the marksman rifle. It literally changes. I think precision rifle has one too. Yeah. Grab one of these. It changes the holographic sight. Now, I'm gonna have to test this, and maybe you guys will see this in the video. I got to, what am I doing? Weapons, character tools, there we go. It changes the holographic sight so you can't see it when you're hip firing. So we can zoom in here. And what I believe it's doing is that it's actually making it disappear as your vision changes from being behind it. So there's the reticle. So it makes it a little bit more realistic. You can see it coming in and out of focus, which is pretty cool. I gotta say, the key model for their weapon is actually pretty neat. It's very Space Engineers. All right. Oh, that's a good point. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. So, we didn't do, where's that fighter of mine? One of the things that we didn't actually test was the change faction. Now, I don't know if this is necessary anymore. Let me see, nobody owns this right now. Excellent. So, you get into a fighter and you need to take direct control over it. There should be a button on here. It's take grid ownership. Literally click it, you now own the ship. So if you're in a faction and you need to switch ownership over to your ship that's owned by the faction but maybe bought by you, you can jump in and click one button instead of trying to select everything in here and turning off show hidden blocks and making sure everything's selected. You just click one button, boom, you own the entire ship. One of the reasons that this is important is that you can't paint ships that you don't own. So if you want to like repaint a ship this really, really ugly yellow color, you're not going to be able to do that unless you own all the blocks. Even if they're owned in the faction, they still haven't fixed that bug. I assume it's a bug. Because even if it's in your faction, you should be able to paint. So if you're co-op building a fighter or a two-man bomber or something like that, only one of you is going to be able to paint it unless you're using the paint gun mod. Different mod. We'll talk about that in another collection. Really cool one, though. All right, what else? What else do we miss out for the pack? We got a bit more to go down. Easy control button we talked about. Ammo management we talked about. Holographic sights. Light block improvement. So this is a mod that for a while didn't work for me, and I think it was because I was using a mod that overrode this one. But it is one of the most convenient for decor when it comes to decorating the interior of your ship or your station, and it is just this simple thing. I've spotlighted this mod before, like a couple of years ago, I think. But it's basically any one of these little lights. Normally, you'd put down like 20 of these on a ship or a station, and then you forget which one's which. And trying to fix that one light that's slightly off in color is a pain, but this adds a control panel to it. So now you can direct access any of the lights on your ship. I don't think it works on corner lights. I think it's just this interior light. We can confirm that real quick though. Stream, do you know? I don't think that it gives control panels. Oh, it does! You can see it on the corner there. Holy crap, that is awesome. So I guess this might be an updated version of the old mod. Because back when I spotlighted that one, I don't think these lights were around. That is awesome. So if you want an eerie, weird glow, you can just pop on. You don't have to sit there and turn it on, you know, show on antenna. Just quick access. Really nice. Quick and convenient. All right, what do we got left? We got build info. We haven't talked about that, but just a little bit. Build info, you've probably seen it running as I'm running around. You can actually see top left-hand corner of my screen. It's giving you all the stats for this vent. It's giving you not only its weight, but its integrity, how much damage it can take before it pops, who owns it, its access all, no ownership, and how quickly you can hack it and or dismantle it. Which, all right, that's fine. It even colors the hack line over on the components required list. If I hit tab one more time, it'll actually move that information to the right-hand side of the screen, kind of shorten it up a bit. One of the things that this does, though, that's really nice, scroll down on the list here, is it gives you, and I've already done a little bit of testing in this room. So right now we're in an oxygen environment. My suit has auto-opened its helmet. So I'm not using my, my stored oxygen, but let's go ahead and vent into space. There we go. We have no oxygen here. My suit has closed itself with that other mod. And we have a leak. All our O2 went out that window. So the vents shut down. It's no longer feeding air into this room. But say I've been building a ship for a while and I don't know where the leak is. One of the coolest features of this mod is that it gives this little button on your vents. Find leak scanned. You hit it once, it does a scan, figures out where the leak is, and you just follow the little like indicator, blinky little indicator here, and it'll bring you right to the leak. We'll go ahead and fix it up. And it stops. Now if you got two leaks, I've noticed, pop a leak here. Pop a leak here. I love that I don't have to worry about my helmet. It auto closes. That's actually really cool. And you do a scan. It doesn't show you all of the leaks. It only shows you one leak at a time. And if you fix one of them, it doesn't auto update. So you're gonna have to do another scan. So we'll go in here, we'll tell it stop, tell it scan again. And now it's pointing us to the other one. So now we gotta fix this one. So you gotta do a rescan every time. Now when I was talking about limitations on what you can put on buttons, right? Because anytime I can not go into a menu is better than having to go into this menu or into the K menu. Let's put a button down. One of the things you sadly can't do that I have found is that you can't put the scan option on a button. I really wish you could. That vent, by the way, is vent 14. That is not vent 14. Vent 14, there it is. You can't put it on there. You can turn it on and off, you can depressurize, you can do all that stuff, but you can't put the new option on there. Makes me sad, but it is a thing. You're gonna have to go into the one of the control panels and access it that way. But other than that, it's a really freaking cool mod to tell you exactly where you've got a leak. I'm gonna attempt this on our Sunday series with the new ship we've been building. Since it's a small ship gone large, I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think I'm gonna be able to actually keep that airtight, but it's a neat feature, definitely. So build info is a mod made by Digi. This also is the mod that gives you the overlays for placing objects that we were showing earlier. So if we want to see, what's considered the front of this giant engine block here, which is actually one of the armored thrusters that we're about to talk about, we can do just that. We can see where it's airtight. And because they're armored thrusters, they're actually airtight on all sides, which is kind of nice. You can see it. So let's actually look at this mod. So one of the most popular mods ever was the armored thruster mod. You guys in chat, let me know, is it still on the most subscribed list, even though it's outdated by like years at this point? It must be. So what this mod does, oh, we've moved stuff around a bit, is it adds in the same thrusters that you're used to, your ions, your hydrogen. I don't know where the hydrogen ones went. They were here a second ago. They must have floated off. I must have had them moving just so slightly. Yeah, by Darth Biomech. Yeah, that's it. And it's still up there on the first page. Wow. Good grief. But they're super outdated. They haven't been rebalanced at all, I don't think. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think they have, though. So what it does is it gives you these armor thrusters, and they are airtight, so you don't have like here's the default version, right, of the engine, and then you've got the angled armor or the full-on block. Now this isn't just a visual thing or giving you more airtight options. It's actually, and we can actually look at it. This has 103,000 health for integrity. As a comparison, this one right here, 93,000, and then the traditional thruster that's not armored, 73,000. So you get a little bit more survivability out, quite a bit more out of the armored full-on block. So I've actually stuck one inside the old red ship right here and replaced the original. Kind of see how it melds in with the normal block style there. I think they look pretty good. They're also set up properly, so if you want to go through all of your engines, you can do just that. Let me turn off the overlay, get a little bit less crap on screen for a minute. But you can actually scroll through these, so just a nice little feature there. So it doesn't just cloud your G menu, and if you hit G, you can see now there's all the thrusters right there that you have access to. And they're all there, by the way. There was a conversation in Inra's in chat right now talking about it, and we were talking about how, like, right now, this little emissive light just lets you know if it has power or not. But there may be an indicator at some point for a tiered system for tiered thrusters. So, higher the tier, the better the thruster. There's also talk about maybe changing the color of the flame. I don't know what you want to end up doing. There's also a thruster category in the G menu. Is there really? Oh yeah, thruster category. So if you're looking for that specific one piece that you need, let me get the hydrogens. Let's take a look at the hydrogens real fast, because we can't see those right now. Just drop it here. Hydrogen has its piping. Looks like it has piping on all sides for the large version. Very nice. There's that one. There's the angled version, and then your traditional thruster, which you can't place. There we go. And there's small block versions of these as well. It was inspired by a Vegarian? The armored thrusters? Oh, the emissive deal. Gotcha. Interesting. Good to know. Very cool. So there's the thrusters. This is a separate pack from the general quality of life pack. I'll put links to all this stuff in the description if you want these in your game. So, kind of jumped around a little bit. We talked about the easy access control panel, the different engines and the armored bits. I believe we talked about build vision. Let me double check. We didn't go into detail with build vision. Now this mod's been around for a while, but I've kind of fallen back in love with it now that I've been using it today. What this does is, with a simple click of your mouse, you can pull up a menu that gives you full access to everything of that block. Just about, not everything total. There are some options that don't come up, as we saw earlier. But you can go in here, you can change the name of it. This landing gear is called the Bat Gear of the Night, apparently. I can turn the block on and off. It's currently off, so if I use middle mouse, on, off, on, off. We can turn it on, and then we can turn auto lock off, so it doesn't do that anymore. We can turn it on the HUD if we want to see, which version this is, or somebody's asking, where's that landing gear I need to strip down? So, pretty cool. And you can use it for any one of the blocks that have options. So you can't access like a normal armored block. But we can go over to this door if we want. Holding down Control, middle mouse wheel down, it gives us the options. We can rename the door just by middle mousing again. It says open chat to continue, so we'll just hit enter and say cool door and close it. Sliding door 3 cool door. I didn't really rename it, did it? Let's try that again. There we go. Delete it all. Cool door. And it's renamed. We can toggle the block off. Toggle it back on. So just a quick way of, if you hit shift middle mouse wheel, it'll actually close the menu. So control middle mouse wheel to open it, shift middle mouse wheel to close it. Easy peasy. You can do this with the lights too, and the reason you probably wouldn't want to is because if you do it like this, trying to change the color off of this menu is a pain. I would much rather just hit F and open up the menu fully and use the little bars to change everything much quicker. So, outside of that though, everything else seems to be way faster. If you want to just like change your settings for running out here, whoop. Just about anything. If you want to change the gravity settings on something real quick, like this works for every block, and it should work for most modded blocks as well, which is pretty nice. Spawner name, you can change that from here. Very cool. Very cool. This is a feature, actually, between this feature and the saving your color palette, I would love to see in the vanilla game. Like having a tab right here to switch through all of your color palette choices would be so much nicer than using a text command. I'm hoping he like sees this bit of quality of life and adds that someday, because that would be nice. All right, let's talk about the camera pan. Yeah, thank you, In. Appreciate it. Let's jump on that. So I have a seat in here already. Now the vanilla red ship on this map comes with cameras facing just about every direction all over it. But one of the things you can't do with cameras in the base game is turn them. You can zoom in and out, you can jump faster than light, you can use freaking automated turrets, but if you want to use a camera that can pan, that's too much. This is exactly what this mod does. It lets you can already zoom in before, but you can hold down Alt and you can look around. Hit V, resets your camera to the middle spot. You can still zoom in, you can still zoom out, you can still have it centered if you're using it as a gun camera, but now you can actually look around. I think this makes a much better case if you're gonna do a ship with no windows, and you wanna have like a multi-crewed ship, and you want everybody to have a chance to actually look outside, especially if you're not using the spectator, if you're playing like a hardcore mode. This is a must-have mod, allowing you to just kind of look around. Like now I can actually see the red ship and zoom in and center it. And even as like, for me as a streamer, this is a must-have, so I can actually show what's going on from inside the bridge, you know, and focus on things. Because if this wasn't the case, okay, yeah, you can see the blue ship, but I can't zoom in on, I can only look forward. Boring. Boring. All right, I think we covered just about everything except for your changes. You made specific changes and the voice computer lines. So let's talk about some of the changes that you made to the quality of life features. For one, there are a few fixes that aren't something that I can easily show in a demo, but you're nice, like the parachutes. In vanilla Space Engineers, the little bot things that spawn, the unknown signals, the container drops, they spawn in, and I'm sure everyone's seen this. Sometimes they won't open their chute soon enough, and they'll end up burying themselves 6 feet under the ground, exploding, making them completely useless and just doing nothing but voxel damage to your map. That's not good. So he's done a fix, so it'll actually open the chute a bit higher up, so it has a chance to slow down instead of crashing. Another thing, grinder and welder ranges have been adjusted. No more leftover small blocks lying directly on the grinders and not getting ground down. I'm assuming, and you can correct me, Inra, is that that's for tools, right? You're talking about like the grinder pits. So their ranges have been a bit more, they'll take the full space over. Let me know in chat, and I'll throw it in correction. Now, one of the things that you have changed, and I love this change, for survival particularly, is taking out a lot of the guesswork. You've increased the ore detector range by a little over half for both ore detectors. So here's an ore detector down here. This thing's ranges, and I don't even have to go into a menu, I can just do this. This range is 350, base game is 150. And he's also more than doubled the small one. So the small ore detector base was 75? No, it was 50, and now it's up to 150. So you can get a little, you can actually see those ores that are underground, especially with a small ship. Kind of a pain that you couldn't before. Now you can. So those are the two kind of gameplay life improvements. All right, so that one, we'll wait on the sound one, because that was 3 tests, and as I got down through the list, I got through maybe 5 or 6 of them, I ended up having a crash, so that's interesting. Not sure what could be causing that. The last thing, though, that I do want to show is one of Splitsy's mods, which is pretty straightforward. It lowers the volume of grinders. I think welders too, but for the most part, grinders are what I care about. In base game, they are so loud. Now I've got my game volume really high because we were just listening to computers, the computer lines there. So let me turn it down to about normal. When I'm streaming, it is painfully loud to use a grinder. Now I get a grinder is supposed to be a loud tool that's carving through metal. I mean, Lord knows I got 2 of them, but I don't want that in my game. I don't want my ears bleeding every time I use a tool, especially not for the audience. So it's just really nice to have this. It is a mod called Sneaky Tools. I'll put a link in the description. I'm pretty sure that one was, it was released by Splitsy. I'm not sure if this is the one that he did all on his own or if he had it made by somebody else. If so, I'll put some credit in the description below. But very cool tool. Hopefully it can be put in the into the easy pack, the quality of life pack. But overall, those are now some of my must-have quality of life mods. They just make they take out a lot of the frustration. A lot of the frustration and a lot easier to customize the set that's on your station and on your ship. So make sure you show some mod authors some love for this. You know, leave a comment. If you have issues and problems, make sure you offer up some feedback to the mod authors if you're getting crashes or any problems like that. The only way they're gonna know to fix stuff is if they know it's broken. So just be respectful. It is their free time and effort that's going into making the content that we get to sit here and enjoy for free to make the game just a better, more enjoyable experience. So thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I will see you all in the next one. Later, everyone.